Hey guys, so this is pretty rough cut. I don't have like anything planned really. I just wanted to talk about my how we chose Addie's name, because I know that was a big question I always got when we had her. You're gonna hear Patrick in the background. He will be screaming because he's playing his game. You're gonna hear Addie in the background because she's down there playing with her toys. So I'm gonna try and do this pretty quickly, but this will be our first coming back YouTube video. If you're new here, go down and watch the rest. If you're not, you already know we had a girl. If you're not, you already know like a bunch of other stuff about us. I guess you already knew that as well if you've heard me say Adeline the last 2 times when I've said about her. That's the bean, the one talking on the floor. So I don't look the greatest because I'm just filming this from my phone, but I just wanted to talk about why we chose Addie. So before finding out that she was a she, we had a list of names, and it was pretty picked out. We had Patrick as a family name. Patrick, that's his family name. And then we had a few other names on the list. And then for boy, and then for girls, we had Adeline. And then I had other names like Sierra, and what other names did I have? Okay. So I had other names on the list. And maybe one day we could actually find that list, but I have no idea where it is right now. So I actually might have just thrown it out because I have the names that we're looking at now on my phone, which will be for any future babies. But Patrick and I went through a lot of names, and we discussed nicknames and names we'd like, and we had to discuss middle names, and especially after we found out it was a girl, or she is a girl, we finalized the name right when we figured out, right when we learned who she was, the name is finalized. I think we said that in the last video, I don't know. Again, that video is from back in March last year, so that's a year ago for me. Or it's April or something, I think. And, yeah. So, we chose Adeline because I really liked the nickname Addie. And I thought it was a really nice name. I've always liked the nickname Abigail, but I don't know if I'm biased because that's my cousin's name. Shout out to you, Abs. But, yeah. The name has always been, Addie has always been a big thing. I've always loved the name. And then it just so happens I started watching a few videos of Jess Fam. I've watched her for years now, but her daughter, her youngest, is named Adeline. Different spelling. And, we often we call Addie Buggy a lot. That's usually her nickname. And she gets... Here, Bugs. I'll come sit with you. I'll come sit with you. Here. So we call Addie Buggy most of the time. And she's at that age that she knows most, I guess she knows her name in a way, but doesn't totally. But she'll look at me when I say Buggy, and she'll look at Patrick when he says it. So I guess her nickname's becoming more popular, and it's hard because this will also go into a nickname video, because I was that parent that was saying, I'm not going to nickname my kid. My kid can pick their nicknames. And it was a big thing for me. I never wanted Addie to be stuck with a nickname, especially Buggy. That's the worst nickname we could have probably given her. And I never wanted to do that to her. Well, she's got it, and it's honestly the funniest reason. It maybe we'll go into detail one day, or should I go into it maybe now? I don't know. I guess I'll open it up. So Addie, when I first had her that day, I'm explaining why we chose Buggy. When we first had Addie, I looked at her eyes, and I don't know if you could tell, but in that picture, right up there, let's see, can I zoom? No. So up there, in that picture, what's the biggest prominent feature? Her eyes. Her eyes were like, I shouldn't touch my eyes. Patrick hates when I touch my eyes. Her eyes were gigantic compared to her head. And they're the thing that stood out the most to me. And I guess all it took me back to was Bedtime Stories with Adam Sandler in it and the guinea pig. And his name is Bugsy, I'm pretty sure. And I tried like Bugsy but it just didn't flow as well as Buggy. And actually, funny thing, Patrick and I just realized today that Buggy goes with what we do for our jobs. And if you know us personally, you know why. It's pretty easy to figure out as well.
Yeah, okay.
You probably will eventually. Yeah, Buggy is a big nickname, and it's ended up that most of like my friends and, well, no, actually I don't think many people call her it, other than like maybe sometimes family, if they overhear us saying it a couple times, they might say it. But otherwise I don't think anybody else has gone to calling her Buggy other than us. So it's a pretty family name for her. Patrick, do you have any advice as to why you picked Addie, or any speculation as to why you helped decide on Addie as a name? She's just gonna eat chips and stare at me. So, as I was saying though, we had a huge list. Huge list, right? Huge list?
I can't hear a word you're saying.
That's not nice. We had a huge list, quite a few names. Nathan, I had Patrick on it because Patrick. We had Seamus. We had middle names for, like, we had Jackson. We had so many names, and Jack, and like I had McKenna for a girl. We had so many names. And if you ever want me to do like name videos of like all the names that I find, I am a name person. I love like the meaning behind, not meaning, but I love like the beauty of names. I find them a fantastic source, and Adeline is and will always be she was meant to be Addie. We have family reasons to believe that, and her middle names both somehow fit into our families and into our friends' lives, and it wasn't even planned to be like that. And I really hope when we go to pick our future child's name, that the same thing happens. Our future other child, I guess. Like, that's way in the future, not happening anytime soon. But when we do decide that, I hope it can have as much meaning as hers. And I know it will, because we'll choose it. And it just, names are a big thing for me. And the child has to live with that for the rest of their life. Unless they change it. I mean, mine was changed multiple times. My last name, at least. But I always go back to wanting to be who I was. I always want to, I always think about, what if I didn't change my name? How different would my life have been? And I think I want my kids not to have to go through the ever changing their name. And I don't want them to have to think about, if I did change my name, would this still have happened? Or like any of that stuff. And I think that's a big thing for me. And I don't know why, but it has become one. And I guess Addie, I just hope she understands the meaning behind her name that I thought of. And actually, we have a book that I have in our room. You're gonna like see the steep tunnels of our house. It's scary, trust me. But we have like a little book, and it's like a pregnancy book that I got when we first found out. Funny. I got it like right when we found out. Haven't looked at it since like since probably like the middle of my pregnancy. I haven't looked at it since then because I just didn't see a reason to. But I'll show, oh, I can't show you. But this is the book. That's Addie in the picture. So it shows my name, and then it shows who we are. It like says to show everything, and then it actually talks about like a lot of things. Yeah, so it talks about, yeah. So first visit, oh, I guess it'd be in the planning section. Okay. Oh, so in here, I did only write what her name was, I think. Yeah, I just wrote what her name is. So, guess that didn't help me any. Never mind. But, yeah, some other names on my list now are family names that I want to continue. And Adeline's Adeline's name is so meaningful that I want to continue that out with other names. And I guess that's all I'm going to talk about since I couldn't find the other names. But as I was saying, names are a big piece of how I look into future children, and they are something I've always gone through as a teenager. I guess my whole time as a teenager was basically picking out future names for future children, knowing I wanted to be a mom one day. And even with Addie, I still look at other names, and there's days that you have that moment that you're like, was Addie the right name? And I don't know if every parent does, and I have them every so often, but I know Addie, and she fits the personality of an Addie, and sometimes I don't see it, sometimes I do, and sometimes I'm just like, she is Addie. She fits my definition of an Addie. And the name is so popular. Like, there's Addison, Adeline, Addie, just Addie. And there's Adeline, probably more than that, Adelia, like anything. And I guess I felt like at the time that it was her name, and I still feel that right now. And I don't know if it was just a feeling that she possibly knew her name. I don't know. I'm going way too into this, but the name is Adeline, and she fits it really well. And she's calling for me. So thanks for watching. The reason we picked Adeline, I guess this video was just a very long tangent, and that's probably how a lot of the videos will go. So if you don't like that, maybe I shouldn't do sit down time videos, whatever. Story time, I don't know. But I did do a labor and delivery story, like cut, like it was very short and to the point. I do have a few videos that I would love to do. If you want to see more, let me know. Until then, I will hopefully get another video up soon. I have lots of ideas. I have them all written in my notes, and he almost just swore for me. So I'll talk to you guys again soon. Bye, everybody.